Hey guys, alrighty, so you're gonna have to deal with some mobile video because I really don't feel like going out to the studio, and I'm still sick of shit. So today you're gonna get a mobile video, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's what you're gonna get. Interesting. Somebody just text messaged me while I'm recording a video with my phone. Nice. Alrighty. Anyways, this is a response to Hypnopotamist. You just posted a video, and the video is points, crispy fingers, and other stuff. I'll try to remember to set this up as a video response to your video. You've basically got your borosilicate glass studio, it looks like, up and running, and you're pulling points, and you've got a bunch of questions, so I actually had to make notes on the questions you asked. I watched the video 2 or 3 times because there was like a lot of information there, and I want to cover it accurately. I'm going to start with the beginning of the video. You made a comment about how you're usually more of an introvert, and it's really funny. I'm pretty introverted myself. Most people that know me would say that I just kind of fucking disappear. I mean, it really gets and bugs some people that I know. I have a good friend that is also here on YouTube. Or at least I consider him a good friend, and he gets really mad at me at times because I don't maintain communication as well as I should. And YouTube is weird for me because it's just I don't know why YouTube works for me. So yeah, I understand that. Your points are coming along really well. Things you should try to work on if you want to improve your points. The dome at the end of the point, if you can make the wall thickness of the dome the same thickness that the wall of the tube is naturally, you'll save yourself a lot of trouble later on, because variations in thickness on a hollow piece can help instigate the stress risers that cause cracking. So just remember that. That's why it's important to always melt your color in completely when you put it on to a hollow tube or anything. The length of your points. There's a very fine balance between a point being too short and then you end up burning yourself, too long, and if you pull them too long, then they get too thin because you only heated one section, and you're not really wasting the extra glass because you already heated the section to pull the point to begin with. So if you heat a section and you pull it only 3 inches long, it doesn't mean that you're saving glass, because if I heat the same exact section, say 25, 26 millimeters wide, and pull it out to 24 inches, I haven't used any more glass. I only had one little section heated up. I just pulled it out farther so that I can keep my hand farther from the flame, which is really what it comes down to. There is a point where they get too long and they get hard to manhandle, especially if you're doing axial work, that is, where you have the point in one hand and you have the punty on the other side in your other hand. I demo, but I'm holding the camera with my hand, so you don't get to see it right now. So yeah, there's a happy medium. If you make them too long, they get too thin, and then they break while you're raking colors and stuff like that. Oh, you mentioned graphite. It gets hot. Yes, it does get hot. It gets hot just from touching glass. Something you should think about is you should try to keep your graphite out of the flame as much as is practically possible, because it will degrade the life of the graphite. Crispification. Things you should think about since you've already crispified your finger. I lifted a point one time, and my hand wasn't really grasping the blowpipe, and the blowpipe just slid through my hand, and the point, the actual piece that I was working, was red hot and just came to rest, if you can imagine, just sliding through and just instantaneously crispified me. So think about that. If you ever put frit inside of a tube to do inside color, if you fail to melt all of the frit in and raise the tube, some of the frit will drop through the blowpipe, and the frit will be at a couple thousand degrees, and it'll instantaneously raise the blowpipe temperature to a couple thousand degrees, and you'll burn your hands. I've seen that happen. Steam burn. If you get water down into the point somehow through breath or anything, it's important to try to blow dry air in there. I know that sounds crazy. If you get too much humidity inside a glass point, it'll create steam. The steam raises the temperature of the blowpipe and burns your hands. So there are some things to think about. You showed me a point that cracked when you were applying color. Points have to be preheated before you apply color to them. So basically, you'll see us like, just for a couple seconds, we're just really warming the whole point up to just before it starts to radiate from temperature. There's just a slight red glow at the point we want to start putting color on it. And we try to keep it at that temperature while we're applying and manipulating color. Getting consistent stringers in Boro. There's like a whole art to that. I'm going to have to do a video just on that. Take your stringers on your large flame and take like 2 inches at the end of the stringer and just bathe it in and out of the fire in a nice neutral flame repeatedly. And if you go vertical, it's easier because if you're horizontal, it'll start drooping off on the end. But if you do this, you can get the whole thing hot enough and grab the tip with a pair of pliers and pull it out. You might find that to be a good method. If you need, I can do a video on stringers. I'd love to do a video on stringers. Symmetry. Symmetry is going to come with experience, bro. You're talking about like Sunfire Glass. When he does his lace work and stuff, you remember I did a video a long time ago where I tried to let people know exactly how good. Now it's crazy for glass. Used to formerly Sunfire Glass. This guy's insanely good at lace work, and to those of us that blow glass and look at it, you know, people that don't do it may look at his videos and go, "Oh, that's cool," but they don't really realize how amazing what he does is, and how quickly he does it, and how uniformly he does it, and without any stress risers or fractures, or it's phenomenal, really. So it comes with experience, and so does the speed that you're talking about. You'll get your, basically, if you do your lace work for 30 years like Joe, I guarantee you're going to be a master of it too. The 84 from AIM is an incredibly efficient kiln. If you take the bottom bead ring thing out completely and just put it, just so you just got the top heating element system on, I found that thing will maintain temperature at low. It'll maintain 1050 all day long at low, like the lowest setting the dial has. And 2 and 3, we would get up to 4. We took the bead door, the little hinge door, completely off of mine. That was the first thing that broke. So that was open all the time. So we'd be at number 4 to maintain 1050. But with the door on there, I think we eventually would put little kiln bricks in the space or the gap so that we could close that off. But yeah, number 2 sounds about right. 1.5. It doesn't take much. That is one efficient kiln. Someone else had asked me about kilns. If that's a really good starting point. The little 84, you've got Hypnopotamus. It's an excellent little kiln. Gosh, you asked so many questions. There are so many things that I need to demo to really cover. And if you remind me, that'll all come. But not today, because I just, my chest and my sinus cavity are messed up off the end of the earth, so this is probably as cool as the videos you're going to get from me today. So, with that in mind, I guess that's really, I've covered all the points here. So Hypnopotamus, this is the Acroduster saying, man, it's awesome to see you just hunkered in there having a blast. Relax, have fun, which it appears you're having, and keep asking questions, and I'll keep pumping back information as fast as I humanly can. Have a good one, bro.